Hey, welcome back. If you are new here, this is Sleepy Science, a place where we take something quietly fascinating about the world and let it carry you off to sleep. Tonight, we are spending our time with horses. Not racetracks, not competition, not anything loud. Just the animal itself. The way it breathes, the way it moves, the way it has shared this world with us for longer than most things we call ancient. Before we begin, if you enjoy what we do here and you want to help keep these videos coming, there is a link to our Patreon in the description. Even a small amount goes a long way in keeping this little corner of the internet alive. And if this is your first time here, a like, a subscribe, or even just a comment telling me what you would like to fall asleep to next time. All of that genuinely helps more than you might think. Now, get comfortable, let your body settle, and let us begin. There is something about a horse standing in a field at dusk that seems to belong to a different kind of time. Not slower, exactly. Just quieter. More settled. As though the animal exists slightly outside the noise of everything else. Planted in the grass the way an old tree is planted. Not going anywhere. Not needing to. Horses have been on this earth for an almost impossible stretch of time. The earliest ancestors of the modern horse appeared roughly 55 million years ago. Not the tall, graceful creature we know today. Something much smaller, about the size of a fox, with several toes on each foot instead of one hoof, picking its way through forests that no longer exist on continents that look nothing like they do now. That animal was called Eohippus, which means dawn horse. And even that name carries something soft in it. Dawn. The very beginning of something. From that small, cautious, forest-dwelling creature, across millions and millions of years of gradual change, came every horse alive today. There is no hurry in that story. There never was. Just change, slow and steady, one generation at a time, moving towards something nobody planned. The shift from many toes to a single hoof happened across millions of years as the forests thinned and gave way to open grasslands. On soft ground and among trees, multiple toes helped spread weight and grip. But on firm, open plains, a single hard hoof was better. It transferred energy more efficiently, gave the animal a spring in its stride, and let it run faster and farther than before. The hoof, that curved shell of hard keratin that you can hear clicking softly on stone or pressing silently into grass, is really a single enormous toe. The nail of that toe, grown wide and thick and strong enough to carry the full weight of an animal that might weigh over 1,000 pounds. Think about that the next time you watch a horse walk. One toe, moving with a grace that took the earth 50 million years to design. Horses are prey animals. It is the single most important thing to understand about them, because it explains almost everything else. When an animal spends millions of years being chased, certain things become essential. Awareness, speed, the ability to sense danger before it is close enough to matter. Horses developed all of these things, and they developed them so thoroughly that even domestic horses, living in safe paddocks and warm stables, in a world with no predators anywhere near them, still carry all of those instincts quietly inside. Their eyes are set on the sides of their head. This gives them a field of vision of nearly 360 degrees. They can see almost the entire world around them without turning their head at all. Only two small blind spots exist, directly behind them and directly in front of their nose. This is why experienced horse handlers will always approach from the side. Not from directly behind, where you would be invisible. Not from directly in front, where the horse cannot quite focus. From the side, where you can be seen clearly, read clearly, understood. Horses can move each eye independently. They can watch one thing with one eye and something entirely different with the other. It is disorienting to imagine that kind of split attention, half the mind on one horizon, half on another, the whole world taken in all at once. And yet they manage it. They always have. Their hearing is remarkable as well. A horse has large, mobile ears that can rotate almost 180 degrees, each one moving on its own, scanning the world like two small radar dishes. They can hear sounds at frequencies both higher and lower than humans can detect. A distant rustle in tall grass, a far-off rumble, the soft landing of something in the dark. All of it reaches them clearly. Watch a horse's ears when it is relaxed. They drift easily, loose and tilted, one here, one there. When something catches the horse's attention, those ears snap forward together, pointing toward whatever it was, sharp and focused. The ears tell you everything about where a horse's mind is. They are honest in a way that is almost restful to watch. A horse's sense of smell is considerably stronger than ours. Their nostrils are large and mobile, able to flare wide to take in more air, able to close almost completely to block out what they do not want. Horses use smell to identify other horses, to learn about unfamiliar objects before touching them, to find water, to locate food under snow, and to read the emotional state of others around them. They can detect the stress hormones in human sweat. A horse can tell, through scent alone, whether the person approaching it is nervous or calm. This is one reason horses can seem to respond to mood in ways that feel almost psychic. They are not reading minds. They are reading bodies, reading the chemistry of the air, reading you the way they have always read the world. There is something humbling in that. You can try to appear calm around a horse, but if you are not actually calm, they will know. They are not fooled by performance, only by the real thing. Horses sleep differently than we do, and this surprises a lot of people. They are able to sleep standing up. Not all of their sleep happens this way, but a good portion of it does. Horses have a system in their legs called the stay apparatus. It is a set of ligaments and tendons arranged so that the horse can lock its knees and stand without using any muscle effort at all. The legs simply hold themselves, like pillars, while the rest of the horse dozes. This allows them to rest while staying upright, which in the wild means they could flee at a moment's notice if something came. The body rests while the survival system stays ready. But horses do need to lie down to reach deep sleep. The kind of sleep where the eyes move beneath the lids, where dreams happen, where the mind fully lets go. This kind of sleep only happens lying down, and a horse in the wild would never allow itself to be caught lying down alone. Lying down means it cannot run. Lying down means it is vulnerable. So, in a herd, the horses take turns. Some lie down, while others stay standing watch. They rotate. They trust. They guard each other's sleep. There is something so quietly tender about that image. A horse lying in the soft grass of a dark field, breathing slow and even, dreaming whatever horses dream, while another stands nearby in the dark, ears turning, watching over the rest. When a horse lies down fully, stretched out on its side, legs extended, head resting on the ground, it is called recumbent sleep. And most horses only do this for a few hours a day, and not all at once. They take it in short stretches. 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there. Never for long. A horse that lies down for too long can develop problems with circulation in its muscles. The body was not built for extended lying down. It was built for the standing, the moving, the gentle restlessness of a creature born to cover ground. But in those brief windows when a horse does rest fully, flat on its side, eyes closed, breathing slow, there is something so complete about it. Something that asks nothing of anyone. Just a large and beautiful animal, given over entirely to sleep, to quiet, to the dark and the soft ground beneath it. Horses communicate constantly. Much of that communication is silent. The position of the ears, the angle of the head, the set of the tail, the tension in the muscles along the neck and shoulder, the way the nostrils flare or soften, all of these are language. A language without words, but a language nonetheless. Two horses in a field will stand at angles to each other that mean something. Side by side, facing opposite directions, each watching a different half of the world, is a posture of companionship and safety. Facing directly toward each other with heads low and nostrils nearly touching is greeting, sometimes challenge, sometimes just curiosity. Standing apart with the body slightly turned away is a signal to give space. Everything is said, nothing is wasted. They also use sound, of course. The whinny, high and carrying, is contact across distance. A horse separated from its herd will call out with a whinny that rings across a whole field. The answer, when it comes, can settle a frightened animal almost instantly. The nicker is softer, lower and more intimate. Mares nicker to their foals constantly in those early days after birth. A low rhythmic reassurance. I am here. You are safe. Everything is fine. Some horses will nicker when they hear familiar footsteps approaching. Their person, recognized by sound, before even a glimpse. And there are people who have described that sound, that low rolling greeting from an animal that weighs 1,000 pounds, as one of the warmest things they have ever experienced. The relationship between horses and human beings is one of the oldest stories on Earth. For most of human history, everything moved at the speed of a horse. Messages between cities, armies on the march, merchants crossing mountains, farmers turning fields, families moving from one valley to another in search of better ground. All of it depended on horses. All of it moved at the pace of hooves. The domestication of the horse is thought to have begun around 6,000 years ago, on the grasslands of what is now Ukraine and Kazakhstan. The people who lived there were likely already familiar with horses as a food source. They hunted them. Then at some point, something shifted. Someone got close enough, patient enough, curious enough to try something different. The first domesticated horses were probably small and stocky, not much like the sleek creatures we know today. But within a few thousand years, humans and horses had begun to change each other, breeding, selecting for certain qualities: speed, size, temperament, endurance, and the horse's body and behavior slowly shifting in response. It is a collaboration that neither side fully chose, and neither side could entirely undo. Across cultures, the horse appears in stories the way stars appear in the sky. Everywhere. Always. Ancient as the stories themselves. In Greek mythology, Pegasus was the winged horse born from the blood of Medusa, a creature so beautiful and wild that it became the symbol of inspiration and poetic imagination. In Norse tradition, Odin's horse Sleipnir had 8 legs and could travel between the worlds of the living and the dead, carrying its rider through realms that ordinary animals could never reach. The ancient Celts revered horses so deeply that the goddess Epona was depicted always with them, a patron of horses and their riders, worshipped from Gaul to Britain to the outposts of the Roman Empire. Roman soldiers, far from their own homeland, adopted her. She crossed borders and languages and centuries, all because of the horse. In the cultures of the Central Asian steppe, where horses were first tamed, they were not merely animals. They were kin. They were status and wealth and safety and speed. They were buried alongside warriors, honored with the kind of ceremony usually reserved for people. The horse mattered. In every language, in every era, the horse mattered. One of the most remarkable things about horses is how sensitive they are to the moods of those around them. Research has shown that horses can read human facial expressions. They look at human faces and process them in ways that parallel how they process the faces of other horses. They recognize happy expressions differently from angry ones. They remember. In one study, horses were shown photographs of human faces with different expressions. When they later encountered the actual person from the photograph, they responded differently depending on the expression they had seen. If the photo had shown the person looking stern or aggressive, the horse was more wary. If the photo had shown warmth, the horse was more at ease. They do not forget a face easily, and they do not forget how that face made them feel. There is something in this that makes the bond between a person and a horse feel less like ownership and more like relationship. The horse is not a machine responding to commands. It is reading you. It is making decisions about you. It is building a history of you in its mind. And when trust is there, real trust, earned slowly over time and never broken, the horse relaxes in a way that is beautiful to watch. The whole body changes. The neck drops. The eyes soften. The tail hangs loose. The breathing slows. It looks, more than anything else, like what it actually is: letting go. Horses have excellent memories, long memories. Studies have shown that horses can remember specific individuals, both human and equine, after years of separation. A horse and a person who trained together for a period of time, then separated, can meet again years later and still show recognition. The horse may approach with familiarity, may nicker, may stand differently, more relaxed, with this specific person than with strangers. They also remember bad experiences very clearly. A horse that was treated roughly in one place can carry that wariness for years. It may become tense near certain objects, certain sounds, certain smells that were present during a frightening moment. This is not stubbornness. It is not defiance. It is memory, doing exactly what memory is supposed to do, protecting an animal from repeating danger. Understanding this changes everything about how people approach horses. You are not just working with the animal in front of you today. You are working with every experience it has ever had, every moment that shaped it, every kindness it received, every fear it survived. You are, in some way, in conversation with its whole life. A horse's coat changes with the seasons. In autumn, as the days grow shorter and the light changes, the horse's body registers the shift. A thicker coat begins to grow in, longer, denser, insulating. By the time the cold truly arrives, the horse is already dressed for it. Then, in spring, that winter coat begins to shed. Not all at once, but in handfuls and clumps and slow drifts of loose hair that cling to fences and float across paddocks. The new coat underneath is shorter, smoother, with a shine that seems to arrive with the warmer weather itself. This shedding season is a time that horse people tend to know well because they find horse hair on absolutely everything. Clothes, brushes, the inside of cars, somehow even places the horse has never been. It is one of those small inconveniences that people who love horses accept completely without thinking about it. The hair is just there. It is part of the deal. It is fine. The act of grooming a horse, working through the coat with brushes, removing mud and loose hair and tangles, is one of those activities that benefits both parties. The horse gets clean and comfortable. The person doing the grooming tends to find that it quiets them. There is something meditative in the rhythm of it, the long, slow strokes, the warmth of the animal's body under your hands, the smell of horse, which is one of those smells that people either love immediately and forever, or find overwhelming and strange. There seems to be very little middle ground. Those who love it find it deeply grounding, like the smell of rain on dry ground, or wood smoke on a cold evening, something that pulls you into the present moment and keeps you there. The gaits of a horse are a kind of music. The walk is 4 beats, each hoof striking the ground separately. Left hind, left fore, right hind, right fore. A slow and even rhythm that you can feel when you are sitting on a walking horse. A gentle rocking, like being carried. The trot is 2 beats, diagonal pairs of legs moving together. Left front and right hind, then right front and left hind. There is a moment of suspension between each pair, where all 4 feet are briefly off the ground at the same time. The trot is energetic, bouncy, not the most comfortable for a rider unless they learn to move with it. But watching a horse trot in a field alone, hooves flicking high, mane rising and falling, there is a precision to it that is almost musical. The canter is 3 beats, with a longer moment of suspension. It has a rolling quality, almost like a wave moving through the horse's body. A good canter on a calm horse is one of the most comfortable gaits to ride. Smooth and unhurried, rocking and carried. People describe it as feeling like flying without leaving the ground. The gallop is the fastest, 4 beats, each hoof striking separately, but so quickly that it blurs. The whole body extends, the back rounding and releasing with each stride, the neck stretching forward, the hooves barely seeming to touch before they leave the ground again. A horse at full gallop can reach speeds of around 40 miles per hour. Some breeds, particularly thoroughbreds bred specifically for speed, can reach beyond that. At those speeds, the ground shakes under them. You can feel it before you see them. A low vibration in the ground that arrives a moment before the sound does. But a horse at rest, standing quietly in a field, one hip dropped, one back leg resting easy, eyes half closed. That is its own kind of grace. Not the grace of speed, the grace of being completely at ease in a body perfectly designed for this earth. Horses are deeply social animals. They form bonds with specific individuals that last for years. They have friendships, not in a metaphorical way, in a genuine, observable, consistent way. A pair of horses that spend time together will often develop a strong preference for each other. They will stand near each other in the field, groom each other, which horses do by standing head to tail and using their teeth to work through each other's coats along the back and neck. They will appear restless when separated and settle when reunited. When a companion horse dies or is sold, the remaining horse can show signs that look remarkably like grief. Searching the field, calling out, standing at gates or fence lines. Reduced appetite, a kind of altered behavior that takes time to settle. People debate the nature of this, whether it is grief in the way we experience grief or something else. But there is something there, something that is more than simple habit or routine disruption, something that takes time to move through. The kindest thing to do for a horse in that situation is often simply to be with it, to be a consistent presence, to let time pass alongside it rather than rushing it through. Horses understand patience. They live in it naturally. They respond to it. Foals are extraordinary. A foal is born after an 11-month pregnancy, and within an hour of birth, it is usually on its feet. This sounds impossible when you watch it happen for the first time. The foal struggling to find its legs, folding and unfolding, overshot and shaking, until something clicks and it pushes upward and stands, slightly stunned by itself, still learning what legs are for. This is not stubbornness or precocity for its own sake. It is survival. A foal that cannot run cannot survive. In the wild, a newborn that cannot keep up with the herd within hours is a newborn in danger. So the body rushes through what in other animals would take weeks or months. By the time a foal is a few days old, it can run fast enough to keep pace with adults. Its legs are long relative to its body, sometimes seeming almost too long, the limbs of an animal that has not yet grown into them. But those long legs are an advantage. They give the foal speed before it has much else. The bond between a mare and her foal is formed in the first hours after birth. The mare will memorize the smell, the sound, the appearance of her foal with an intensity that will not waver. She will recognize her foal in a herd of hundreds. She will call to it specifically. She will stand between it and anything that approaches too quickly. And the foal, within hours of being alive, has already learned its mother's nicker, already knows which of the voices around it belongs to the one it belongs to. There are few things in the animal world that are more complete than that. The thoroughbred is one of the most famous horse breeds in the world, almost entirely because of its speed. Developed in England in the 17th and 18th centuries through the careful crossing of native English mares with imported Arabian, Barb, and Turk stallions, the thoroughbred was bred from the very beginning for one purpose: to go faster than anything else. All registered thoroughbreds today can trace their lineage back to one of three stallions: the Byerly Turk, the Darley Arabian, and the Godolphin Arabian. These three animals, brought to England centuries ago, became the foundation of every racehorse that has competed since. It is a narrow lineage for such a famous breed, and it has consequences. Thoroughbreds are fast, extraordinarily fast, but they can also be high-strung, sensitive, more prone to certain health problems than other breeds. They were refined toward an extreme, and like anything refined toward an extreme, they are a little fragile in the places where they are most remarkable. But watching a thoroughbred in full stride, when everything is working as it was designed to work, is something that does not leave you easily. The length of stride, the way the body seems to barely skim the ground, the pure, engineered, almost reckless commitment to forward motion. There is a reason that people have been watching horses run for thousands of years and have never quite gotten tired of it. The Arabian is among the oldest horse breeds in the world. Some historians believe the Arabian has been selectively bred for as long as 4,000 years, making it one of the oldest domesticated breeds in existence. Originating in the Arabian Peninsula, shaped by centuries of life in one of the most demanding environments on Earth, the Arabian developed qualities that made it indispensable to the Bedouin people who bred it. It could travel great distances on limited water. It could tolerate extremes of heat. It had endurance that outlasted almost every other breed. And it was beautiful. The dished face, the large, dark eyes, the arched neck, the high-carried tail that flares outward when the horse is excited or alert. These are traits so distinctive that Arabians are recognizable at a glance, even to someone who knows little about horses. The Bedouin people did not simply own Arabians. They shared their lives with them. Horses were brought inside tents in cold weather. Mares were prized above stallions because they could be ridden into battle without the noise that would give position away. Lineages were memorized and recited with the same care and detail as human family histories. The Arabians' influence spread across the world through trade and conquest and gift. Almost every modern light horse breed carries Arabian blood somewhere in its ancestry. It is a bloodline woven through the horse world, the way certain stories are woven through all human cultures, quietly everywhere, long before anyone thought to trace it. The Icelandic horse is a breed that has been isolated for over 1,000 years. When Norse settlers arrived in Iceland in the 9th century, they brought horses with them. Iceland's laws eventually prohibited the importation of new horses, and those laws, maintained for centuries, created something unique. A breed shaped entirely by one island, one climate, one landscape, harsh winters, volcanic terrain, rough winds off the North Atlantic. The Icelandic horse is small, often only 13 or 14 hands high, which technically makes it pony-sized by most measuring standards, though Icelanders do not call them ponies. They are horses, and they are built for everything their island demands of them. They have thick double coats for the cold, dense manes and tails that resist wind and rain, hooves shaped to grip lava rock and pick through rough terrain, and an almost legendary hardiness that has kept them thriving in a place where many breeds would struggle to survive. But the most distinctive thing about them is the gaits. While most horses have 3 gaits, walk, trot, and canter, the Icelandic horse has 5. The extra 2 are called the tolt and the flying pace. The tolt is a smooth, 4-beat lateral gait that covers the ground quickly while being remarkably comfortable for the rider. No bounce, no jarring, just a smooth flow forward, like being carried on something that has decided to make travel effortless. There is a famous story about Icelandic riders carrying full cups of coffee at the tolt without spilling a drop. Whether strictly true or not, it captures something real about the gait. It is extraordinarily smooth, almost improbably so. The flying pace is faster, lateral legs moving together, one side at a time. The horse in a 2-beat rhythm that can reach speeds of 30 miles per hour. It is not comfortable for long distances, but in short bursts it is breathtaking to watch. The horse seems to skim the ground, barely touching, a kind of controlled flight. The wild horses that roam the American West, known as Mustangs, have a complicated history. They are not, technically, a wild species. They are feral, meaning they are descended from domesticated animals that escaped or were released and returned to a wild existence. Spanish colonizers brought horses to North America in the 1500s, and over centuries, some escaped and spread across the western plains. In a strange way, this is also a kind of homecoming. The ancestors of the modern horse evolved in North America. They were here for millions of years before crossing into Asia over the Bering Land Bridge, and then going extinct in the Americas sometime around 10,000 years ago. When Spanish horses arrived, they were returning, in a manner of speaking, to a continent that had once been theirs. Mustang herds live across the American West, in Nevada, Wyoming, Montana, Oregon, and other states. They are managed by the Bureau of Land Management, which periodically gathers some herds to control population numbers, offering horses for adoption to people willing to train them. The process of gentling a Mustang, which is distinct from breaking in the old aggressive sense, is one of the most patient and demanding things a person can do with a horse. A Mustang that has never been touched by a human does not know that humans are safe. It knows the opposite. Every instinct says to run. Teaching a wild horse to trust is a long and careful process. It cannot be hurried. It cannot be forced. It has to be offered, again and again, until the horse decides on its own that safety is possible here. People who do this work describe it as one of the most humbling experiences of their lives. Because the horse is never obligated to trust you. It is always making a choice. And when it finally makes the choice to come closer, to lower its head, to let you touch it for the first time, the gift of that is not lost on anyone who has waited for it. Horses have been companions in war for millennia. This is one of the less gentle parts of their history with us, and it deserves to be said plainly. From the war chariots of the ancient Hittites to the cavalry charges of the Napoleonic era, horses were central to armed conflict for thousands of years. They carried soldiers into battle. They pulled artillery. They moved supplies across terrain that nothing else could navigate. They died in enormous numbers, the way soldiers died, in service of things they had no say in. During the First World War, an estimated 8 million horses died. 8 million. On both sides, in every theatre of conflict, these animals were present and they were lost. There are memorials to war horses. In London, an Animals in War memorial in Hyde Park bears the inscription, "They had no choice." That is the part that stays with you. They had no choice. They were there because we brought them there. They served because we asked it of them. And they bore it with the same patience and effort they have always brought to whatever we have asked. The horse's history with humanity is a story of extraordinary generosity on the horse's part, and it deserves to be remembered that way. Modern horses, of course, live very different lives. Many are companions, kept for riding, for showing, for the simple pleasure of being around them. They live in stables and paddocks, groomed and fed and kept with a care that would have been incomprehensible to a horse on the ancient steppe. Others are athletes, racehorses who live for the track, show jumpers who learn to navigate courses of fences at speed and height, dressage horses who perform movements so precise and controlled that they look choreographed, which in a sense they are, though the best dressage looks like the horse chose each movement for itself. Some horses are working animals, still used in agriculture in parts of the world where terrain or tradition make them the best option. In the forests of parts of Europe and North America, heavy draft horses are used in logging because they can work in conditions where machinery would cause too much damage to the ground and the trees. Their size and strength and intelligence combine into something that no machine has fully replicated for that specific task. And some horses are therapy animals, working with people who have experienced trauma or who are navigating physical or emotional challenges. The research on this is ongoing, and the stories are many. Veterans returning from conflict who find that horses offer them something talk therapy cannot. Children with developmental challenges who connect with horses in ways that open up new kinds of communication. People in grief who find that the simple act of being near a horse, of grooming it, of moving with it, quiets something in them that has refused to quiet any other way. Horses seem to meet people where they are, without judgment, without agenda, without any interest in what you should be feeling instead of what you actually are feeling. Horses drink between 5 and 10 gallons of water a day under normal conditions. More in summer, more when working hard. They are drawn to water the way all creatures of the open plains have always been drawn to it, with a certainty and a relief. Watching a horse drink at a stream or a trough is one of those quietly satisfying things. The way the nose lowers to the surface, the long swallows, the throat moving. Something in it looks like ease, like a kind of fullness being restored. Horses prefer moving water when they have a choice, running streams over still ponds. This is thought to be a preference shaped by millions of years of instinct. Running water is less likely to carry disease. Still, water is unpredictable. The preference was useful long before anyone understood why. They also have a relationship with salt. Horses require sodium chloride, and they seek it out. Salt licks placed in paddocks are visited regularly and with clear intent. The horse will press its tongue against the block and lick steadily, methodically, for as long as it takes to satisfy what the body is asking for. There is something in that simplicity, knowing what you need and going toward it without complication, that feels enviable on the right kind of day. The hooves of a horse grow continuously, the way fingernails do, and they require regular trimming and maintenance. In the wild, the constant movement of the horse over varied terrain naturally wears the hoof down at roughly the rate it grows. In domestic settings, where horses may spend time in soft paddocks or stables, a farrier is needed. A farrier is the person who trims and shoes horses. It is a skilled and physical trade. The farrier must understand the biomechanics of how the horse moves, how the hoof is structured, how to correct problems and support healthy growth. They work with each foot by lifting it, holding it between their knees, and trimming or shaping it with special tools. The horse must stand quietly for this. A horse that fidgets or pulls away makes the work harder and more dangerous. Most well-handled horses learn to accept it. Some seem genuinely unbothered, standing with eyes half closed while the farrier works around their feet, as though the whole process is simply part of the rhythm of their days. A well-fitted horseshoe supports the hoof and distributes weight evenly across the foot. Historically, horseshoes were made of iron. Today they are made from various materials depending on the horse's work. Steel for heavy work, aluminum for racehorses where every ounce matters, rubber and polyurethane for horses that need extra cushioning. The horseshoe hung above a door for luck is one of those symbols so old that most people have no idea where it came from. Iron was believed to repel evil in many traditions. The horseshoe's crescent shape carried associations with the moon. The nails that fastened it were part of the magic. Exactly which way it should face, open end up to catch good fortune, or open end down to pour it over those who pass beneath, has been argued about in folklore for centuries. But the shoe itself, that simple curved piece of metal, shaped by heat and hammered into form, has been with us for at least 2,000 years. Small, practical, unremarkable, and woven into the language and luck of the whole world. A horse's teeth can tell you a great deal about its age. This is where the expression, "Don't look a gift horse in the mouth," comes from. Looking at the teeth of a horse was the way to assess its value. To look in the mouth of a horse someone had given you as a gift was to evaluate whether it was worth what you might have hoped, which was considered rude and ungrateful. Horse teeth continue to erupt throughout most of the animal's life. As the horse ages, the teeth become longer and more angled. The wearing patterns on the grinding surfaces change. A trained eye can estimate a horse's age from its teeth with reasonable accuracy, particularly in younger animals. The saying, "long in the tooth," meaning old, comes from exactly this. Horses are herbivores. They eat grasses and hay and other plant material. Their digestive system is designed for continuous grazing. Small amounts, constantly. Not large meals twice a day. The gut works best when it is always gently working, always moving something through. In the wild, horses spend between 16 and 20 hours a day grazing, moving slowly across a landscape, heads down, cropping grass, taking a few steps, cropping more. They cover enormous distances this way, not racing, not panicking, just moving, always moving, always grazing, the work of eating never quite finished. Domestic horses that are kept in stalls for long periods can develop problems from this disruption of natural behavior. The gut needs movement to function well. The mind needs occupation. A horse that cannot graze, cannot wander, can develop behaviors that signal stress, weaving back and forth, cribbing at wood, repetitive patterns that give the body something to do when it has nothing to do. The best horsekeeping tries to accommodate the nature of the animal. Turnout in fields whenever possible. Hay available throughout the day. Company. Space. Things that look, even in a paddock, a little like the open plain. At night, a horse pasture has its own particular quiet. The light changes in the evening. That soft, last hour of sun, when everything turns amber and the shadows grow long. The horses tend to settle as the light goes. They may drift toward each other. Some will begin to graze more slowly. Some will stand still at the edges of the field, watching the horizon with large, calm eyes as the world darkens. Horses can see better in low light than humans can. Their eyes are large, one of the largest of any land mammal, and the pupil can dilate widely in darkness. They can see well enough to navigate safely on a moonlit night. They have been doing exactly that for millions of years. The sounds of a horse pasture at night are small and particular. The soft tearing of grass. Occasional quiet footfalls moving from one part of the field to another. A low exhale through wide nostrils. Sometimes the brush of one horse against another. The groan of a fence post in the wind. An insect. The faraway call of something unseen. And underneath it all, that sense of large animals at rest. The particular piece of creatures who are exactly where they are supposed to be, doing exactly what they were made to do, belonging entirely to the darkness and the grass and the cool air that moves across the field as the night settles in. The heart of a horse is enormous. Literally. A horse's heart weighs between 8 and 10 pounds on average. That is roughly 6 times the weight of a human heart. For racehorses, the size of the heart is considered one of the key factors in athletic performance. A larger heart can pump more oxygenated blood per beat, allowing the muscles to work harder and for longer. There is a famous story about a horse called Secretariat, who won the United States Triple Crown in the early 1970s and set records that have never been broken. When he died and was examined, his heart was found to weigh more than 22 pounds, more than twice the average for a horse. An extraordinary anomaly, possibly the explanation for an extraordinary horse. Whether or not it explains everything about Secretariat, the image of it stays. A heart that large, a chest built to carry something that almost no animal had been built to carry, and the horse running again and again, covering the ground faster than anyone before. In a less literal sense, people have always talked about the heart of a horse, its willingness, its effort. The way a good horse will keep going long after logic would say stop. This quality, sometimes called heart, is prized above speed, above size, above almost anything else. A horse with heart will run through discomfort, will try again when something is difficult, will stay with you when another animal might quit. Nobody teaches this quality. Nobody trains it in from the outside. It is either there or it is not. And when it is there, you know it. Horses are extremely capable athletes, but they are also surprisingly delicate in some ways. The digestive system is one of the most vulnerable parts of a horse. Colic, a catch-all term for abdominal pain, is one of the leading causes of death in horses. It can range from mild and self-resolving to severe and life-threatening in a matter of hours. A horse cannot vomit. Its digestive tract runs in one direction only, and when something goes wrong in that long winding system, the options for the horse are limited. Horse owners learn to read their horse's normal behavior very carefully, so that deviation from normal is caught early. A horse that is lying down more than usual, one that is looking at its flank, one that is reluctant to eat or pawing at the ground. These small signals can be the first sign of a problem that needs attention. The relationship between a horse person and their vet is often a close one. Not because horses are always sick, they are not, but because the stakes of getting something wrong are high, and the horse cannot tell you where it hurts. It can only show you how it is acting, and leave you to read what is underneath. This is another kind of attentiveness that horses ask of us. Watch. Pay attention. Notice the small things. Do not wait until the problem is too large to miss. It is good advice for most relationships. Actually, horses have been the subject of art for as long as art has existed. The earliest known horse paintings are found in caves in southern France and northern Spain, made more than 30,000 years ago. In the Chauvet cave in France, horses are the most commonly depicted animal. They appear on the walls in red and black, outlined with a confidence that suggests the people who made them had been watching horses for a very long time. These were not domesticated horses. These were wild horses. Animals that the people of that time would have hunted, feared, watched from a distance. And yet they took the time to paint them. Not just once, but again and again, on walls deep inside the earth where the firelight flickered and the images seemed almost alive. We do not know exactly why. We can speculate. Perhaps the horses were sacred. Perhaps they were hunted with ceremony. Perhaps the paintings were a way of understanding the animals, of holding them still long enough to study them, of honoring something too large and fast and alive to be held any other way. The impulse to paint horses did not stop in those caves. It moved forward through time, through ancient Egypt and Greece, through the tapestries of medieval Europe, through the oils of the Renaissance, through the vast plains paintings of the American West. Horses appear in art constantly, always, in every culture, in every era. They are beautiful to look at. They carry meaning. They move in ways that the human eye follows without being told to. Something about their form asks to be drawn, carved, painted, remembered. Photography changed the way we understand how horses move. In the 1870s, a photographer named Edward Muybridge was hired by a California businessman to settle a bet. The question was whether a horse, when galloping, ever had all 4 feet off the ground at the same time. People had debated this for years. It happened too quickly for the eye to catch. Some paintings of galloping horses showed them with their legs splayed out in a rocking horse position, which turns out to be completely wrong. Others showed them bunched up. Nobody was sure. Muybridge set up a line of cameras along a racetrack, each triggered in sequence by a thin wire across the track. As the horse galloped past, each camera captured one fraction of the stride. When the images were assembled, there it was, unmistakable. All 4 feet off the ground at the same time, but not in the splayed position artists had imagined. Instead, bunched beneath the body, all 4 legs pulled in together at the moment of suspension. This was one of the first times photography had revealed something about movement that the human eye simply could not see. It changed how artists painted horses from that point forward. It began a new era of using images to study motion. And it settled, finally, a question that had been argued about for a very long time. The answer was yes. They fly, briefly and repeatedly, with every stride. They leave the ground completely, all 4 feet, entirely airborne, for just a moment, before coming back. The Przewalski's horse is considered the last truly wild horse in the world. Unlike Mustangs, which are feral horses descended from domesticated stock, the Przewalski's horse, sometimes called the Taki in Mongolia, has never been fully domesticated. It is a distinct species, with a chromosome count different from domestic horses. It is the genuine article, what wild horses were before we changed them. By the late 1950s, they had disappeared from the wild entirely. The last confirmed sighting of a wild Przewalski's horse was in 1969. They survived only in zoos, a handful of captive animals, carrying the whole of their species between them. Then something remarkable happened. Breeding programs coordinated between zoos around the world began working to rebuild the population. Carefully, slowly, managing genetics across institutions, preparing animals for eventual release. By the 1990s, Przewalski's horses were being returned to the Mongolian steppe. A small beginning, but a beginning. Today, there are around 2,000 of them in the wild and in captivity combined. It is not a large number. They are still endangered. But they are there, on the steppe where they belong, small herds moving through the landscape, as they always have. They are stocky and dun-colored with dark legs and a short, upright mane that does not fall to the side the way a domestic horse's mane does. They look ancient, because they are. They look like something drawn on a cave wall, because their ancestors were. Draft horses are a different kind of remarkable. Not built for speed, but for strength. Not for racing, but for pulling. The Shire horse, one of the largest breeds in the world, can stand nearly 6 feet at the shoulder, can weigh more than 2,000 pounds. It is an animal of almost staggering scale when you stand beside one. The legs are wide and feathered with long silky hair at the fetlock. The head is large and broad. The hooves alone are bigger than a dinner plate. These horses pulled the ploughs that turned fields for centuries in England. They hauled the dray wagons that moved goods through city streets. They built the infrastructure of a country in the era before engines. Quietly, enormously, step by step by step. A pair of Shire horses pulling together can move loads that seem impossible. Teams of them built the canals and roads and railways of the industrializing world, working alongside human laborers in conditions that would stop most animals cold. And despite their size, despite the sheer physical weight of them, they are known for gentleness. A Shire standing still is a wall of muscle and warmth, but they are patient. They are calm. They let children approach. They stand while the smallest hands offer them hay. The combination of that size and that gentleness is one of the stranger and more affecting things in the horse world. Something that enormous, choosing to be gentle, is a choice that costs it nothing and means something to everyone who sees it. The relationship between a rider and a horse is built on communication so subtle it becomes invisible to an outside observer. A skilled rider uses weight, leg position, the angle of the hip, the softness or firmness of the hand, the direction of the gaze, all of it at once, to communicate with the horse. The horse reads all of these signals simultaneously. A slight shift of weight can tell the horse to move left. A gentle squeeze of the leg can ask for more energy. A stillness in the body can ask for slow. A release of tension can signal rest. Beginners wonder how experts seem to do nothing and the horse does everything. The answer is that they are doing something. They are just doing it small. They have learned to make their body a clear language, and the horse has learned to read it. The horse also communicates back. An ear that swivels toward the rider, a back that softens or tightens, a step that becomes lighter or heavier, the rhythm of the breathing. The horse tells you what it thinks, what it is about to do, what is making it uneasy. The rider's job is to listen. At its best, riding is a conversation. Two minds, two bodies, different species, finding a language between them. Something understood and then forgotten and then found again, a little easier each time. Horses know things we do not. They know when a storm is coming. Horses often become unsettled before a storm arrives, sometimes hours before any human has noticed the change in weather. They may pace. They may mill together. They may refuse to go to certain parts of the field. the change in barometric pressure, the shift in the air. Something reaches them before it reaches us. They can sense earthquake tremors before humans detect them. Animals in general have been noted to behave unusually before seismic events. Horses are among the most sensitive. Whether this is vibration through the ground, a change in electrical fields, a shift in sound that runs below human hearing. Nobody is entirely sure, but they know. Something in them knows. They notice the unfamiliar in a landscape with a precision that is almost eerie to watch. A plastic bag in a hedge 50 yards away. A new cone on a road they walk daily. A bird sitting in an unusual place. The horse flags it. Ears forward. Attention sharp. Body poised. To a person on the horse's back, this can feel like overreaction. But remember what the horse has always been. A prey animal. In a world where noticing the small, out-of-place thing meant life or death. The plastic bag is not a plastic bag to the horse. It is something that was not there before, and something that was not there before deserves attention. Full, immediate, undivided attention. This is a different relationship with the world than ours. More present, more alert, never fully settled, always scanning. It is tiring to think about, actually, and perhaps this is why horses, when they finally do feel safe, rest so fully. Because being truly awake, for them, is a full-time occupation. Horses have been part of some of the most extraordinary journeys in human history. Genghis Khan's cavalry moved faster and farther than any army before it, covering distances that made it seem like they were everywhere at once. The horses of the Mongol steppe were small and tough and could survive on grass alone where other horses would have starved. They carried an empire into being. Alexander the Great had a famous horse called Bucephalus, whose name meant ox head, a reference to the markings on his forehead. Alexander was said to have tamed the horse as a teenager when no one else could, noticing that the horse was frightened of its own shadow. He turned the horse to face the sun so that the shadow fell behind, and rode him. The relationship between them lasted for decades. When Bucephalus died, Alexander named a city after him, Bucephala, a city for a horse. The Pony Express, which operated for only 18 months in the early 1860s, used horses to carry mail from Missouri to California. Riders changed horses every 10 to 15 miles at relay stations strung across nearly 2,000 miles of wilderness. The total journey took about 10 days. At the time, it was the fastest communication across a continent, the equivalent of a modern internet. All of it on horseback. All of it carried on 4 legs and a heartbeat. In the mountains of the American West, there are still ranches where horses work the way they always have. Cattle need to be moved across terrain that no vehicle can navigate. Horses can go where the land demands, up steep draws, through scrub oak and sage, across creeks running cold and fast. A good ranch horse is trained to read cattle as naturally as it reads its own herd, anticipating where an animal will move before it moves, positioning without being asked, almost thinking ahead. The quarter horse, named for its exceptional speed over a quarter mile, is the breed most associated with this work. Quick and athletic, low to the ground compared to some breeds, with the hindquarters and thighs that give it an explosive start from a standstill. A cutting horse, trained to isolate one animal from a herd and prevent it returning, can do this work with almost no input from the rider. The rider holds the reins loose. The horse does the rest, reading the calf, mirroring it, cutting off its escape routes with an intelligence and speed that the rider could not produce faster by being involved. The rider trusts. The horse works. That is all. There is something deeply satisfying in watching this kind of partnership. Not performance, not trick, just two animals, different species, doing a job together that neither could do as well alone. As the night moves forward and the hours deepen, somewhere there are horses standing in fields in the dark. Somewhere, a herd stands close together in the cold, their breath rising in small clouds. One stands slightly apart, ears moving, watching. The others rest. The grass is silver with dew. The sky is very wide. The stars have been out for hours. In a stable somewhere, a mare has her nose deep in hay, pulling great mouthfuls slowly, chewing with long, unhurried strokes. The sound of it, the steady rhythm of a horse eating hay in the dark, is one of the most peaceful sounds a person can hear. If you have heard it, you know. If you have not, imagine something very even and very soft. Something that says, there is food, there is shelter, there is nothing coming. This is all there is right now. Somewhere, a foal is sleeping flat on its side, legs extended, ribs rising and falling. So new to the world that sleep takes it completely. Its mother stands nearby, not touching it, not needing to, just there. Somewhere on the steppe, a small herd of wild horses is moving in the dark. No purpose but movement. No destination but the next good patch of grass. The wind across their backs. The ground familiar under centuries of the same feet. And all of it is quiet. All of it is as it has always been. The horse in the dark. The horse in the field. The horse in the stable. The horse on the plain. All of it breathing. All of it resting. All of it carrying on without needing us to watch. The winter coat of a horse in full growth is a remarkable thing. Thick and dense. It traps air close to the skin, creating insulation that keeps the horse warm even in hard cold. Horses can tolerate cold that would be dangerous for many animals. They have lived on open plains in winter for millions of years. The cold does not surprise them. In very cold temperatures, a horse will often stand with its back to the wind. A group of horses will do this together, all turned the same direction, a quiet consensus reached without discussion. Their tails blown forward between their legs, their heads low. Waiting, patient as rock. A horse in a field during a snowstorm will often just stand there and let the snow accumulate on its back. Not troubled, not seeking shelter, just standing in it. The snow sometimes sticks without melting, a sign that the insulation is working so well that the horse's body heat is not even reaching the outer surface of the coat. There is something about the image of a horse standing in a snowfield, dusted white, utterly still, that belongs in a painting. in a very old painting, from a time when winters were harder and horses were everywhere and the world was quieter than it is now. Horses communicate their emotions in ways we are still learning to read. Research published in recent years has shown that horses use facial expressions to convey emotion, much as humans and other social animals do. They have mobile faces, more mobile than most people realize. The nostrils can widen or tighten. The area around the eye changes with mood. The muscles around the mouth shift. There is even a specific action called the worry wrinkle that appears above the eye when a horse is stressed. A relaxed horse has a soft eye. This is a term that horseperson use, and it refers to something real. When a horse is comfortable, the muscles around the eye ease. The eyeball seems to deepen. The whites are not visible. The whole expression gentles. A hard eye is different. Tense muscles, whites showing at the edges, the look of something calculating its options. A horse showing the white of the eye in a particular way is a horse that is frightened, and a frightened horse is a horse that may act unpredictably. Learning to read a horse's face is learning to read a whole world of expression that runs entirely without words. It takes time. It takes attention. But once you have learned it, you cannot quite unlearn it. The horse's face becomes as readable as a person's, as honest, as full of what is actually happening inside. The lifespan of a horse is generally between 25 and 30 years, though some individuals live considerably longer. The oldest horse on record was an animal named Old Billy, who lived to 62 years. Born in England in the late 1700s, Old Billy spent his life working as a barge horse, pulling cargo boats along canals. He outlived generation after generation of the people he worked with. As horses age, their needs change. The teeth wear down. The digestive system becomes less efficient. Joints can stiffen. A good older horse is one that has been well cared for throughout its life. The kindness put in early shows in the horse that emerges late. Old horses often have a particular quality about them. A steadiness that comes from having seen everything, having lived through seasons and training and noise and quiet. The things that once spooked them may no longer matter. The things that once demanded urgent response may now barely register. Not because the capacity is gone, but because experience has sorted what is worth responding to and what is not. An old horse is often the safest horse for a new rider. It has done this before. It has carried beginners before. It knows the difference between a rider who does not know what they are doing and actual danger. It does not confuse the two. It takes the beginner gently through what it knows, without drama, without rush, quietly doing its job. One more time. There is a word in Portuguese, saudade, that means a kind of longing for something beautiful that is gone, or perhaps never quite was, or may still be somewhere out of reach. It is a feeling without a clean English translation. A bittersweet ache. A tenderness for something absent. I think about that word sometimes in relation to horses. Not in a sad way, in a way that recognizes something. That the horse and the human share a history so long and so woven through with need and effort and beauty, that it is genuinely possible to feel something like that for it. A nostalgia not for a specific time, but for the whole long story. For the herds on the plain, for the first hand that reached out, for the first back that was carried, for the caravans and the armies and the farmers and the children who pressed their faces against warm necks and breathed in that smell. For all the horses that ever were and are gone now, and all the horses still here, in fields and stables and on open ground, breathing quietly in the dark, the same animals they have always been. When you are very young and you encounter a horse for the first time, the size of it is shocking. Even a small horse is enormous when you are close to it. The head is enormous. The eye is enormous. The hooves, if you stand beside one, are wider than your hand with fingers spread. The smell is warm and real and unlike anything else. Some children are frightened at that size. Some are immediately, irreversibly pulled toward it. Something happens in those children. They reach out. They touch the neck. The horse turns its head, that large eye regarding them calmly, and something in the child recognizes something in the horse. Nobody teaches this. It is older than teaching, older than language, older than anything we know how to explain. It is just there. The pull, the recognition, the beginning of a long conversation. There is a branch of equestrian sport called dressage, and it is unlike most things that get called sport. The word comes from the French, meaning simply training. But dressage, at its highest levels, is something closer to a dialogue between a horse and a rider made visible. Movements that began as military exercises centuries ago, the ability of a horse to turn sharply, to move sideways, to collect itself into a balanced and precise frame, became over time an art. At the top of dressage competition is something called the Grand Prix. The movements performed include the piaffe, which is a trot in place. The horse lifts each diagonal pair of legs in the rhythm of a trot, while moving nowhere, suspended in motion without advancing. The passage, a slow floating trot with exaggerated suspension between each stride. The pirouette, a canter in a tiny circle, the hindquarters nearly stationary while the front of the horse moves around them. The most legendary movement of all is called the levade. The horse draws its hindquarters beneath it and rises to balance on the hind legs alone, the body held at a steep angle, perfectly still, for several seconds. It requires extraordinary strength and balance and trust. The horse must be strong enough, willing enough, and calm enough to hold that position. It is trained over years, built slowly from the ground up. The Spanish riding school in Vienna has been training horses in classical dressage for over 400 years. The Lipizzaner horses they work with, white and compact and bred specifically for this work, are some of the most carefully trained animals in the world. Their training begins when they are young and does not finish until they are fully mature, sometimes 6 or 7 years into their career. The school does not rush. The horses do not rush. Everything is built one small step at a time, on a foundation of understanding and willingness. To watch a Lipizzaner in passage is to watch something that seems to defy the weight and physics of a large animal. The slow elevation of each step, the moment of hang in the air, the neck arched, and the body carrying itself with a pride that reads as genuine, because it is. This is a horse that knows what it is doing, that has learned to do it well, That finds in doing it something that might be the horse equivalent of mastery. The landscape shapes the horse, and the horse shapes the landscape. This is less poetic than it sounds. Wild horse herds grazing over a grassland create a particular effect. They eat certain plants. They fertilize the soil with their manure. Their hooves break up the surface, aerating compacted ground. They create trails through tall grass that become paths for other animals. They concentrate around water sources, affecting how plants grow in those zones. In the Pleistocene, when horses existed across North America alongside mammoths and ground sloths and other large herbivores now extinct, their grazing would have shaped the grasslands in ways that affected everything else. The loss of those large herbivores when they went extinct changed the landscape in ways that ecologists are still tracing. Some rewilding projects in parts of Europe and Asia are reintroducing horses, along with bison and other large grazers, specifically to restore the ecological functions those animals once provided. The idea is that the grassland needs the horse as much as the horse needs the grassland. That the relationship between them is not one of dependent and provider, but something more like collaboration, two things that are better for each other's presence. In the Chernobyl exclusion zone in Ukraine, Przewalski's horses were released in the early 2000s. They have thrived in the absence of human activity. The contaminated land that humans had to abandon turned out to be a kind of sanctuary for a horse that had nowhere left to go. There is something quietly complicated about that. The space left by human departure, becoming the space where something wild returned. The sound of hooves on different surfaces is its own language. Hooves on packed dirt make a hollow, rhythmic sound that carries across a field. Not sharp. A muffled thud and swing that has a music to it when the horse is moving at a trot or canter. Hooves on cobblestone are crisp and clear, each step separate and ringing. The sound of horses on cobblestone is the sound of an older city, of a market square before cars, of a world that moved at a different speed. People of certain ages say they can hear that sound and feel time shift under them, backward, gently, into something quieter. Hooves on grass are nearly silent. A soft pressing sound, almost inaudible from more than a few feet away. A horse walking toward you across grass can be close before you hear it clearly. The size of the animal and the softness of its approach create a contradiction that is somehow very characteristic of horses in general. Enormous and quiet, powerful and soft, capable of great noise and capable of none at all. Hooves in water are a sound apart. The splash and suck of crossing a shallow stream, the water flying up around the legs, the horse pushing through with the complete indifference of an animal that has been crossing rivers since long before anyone was counting. The stream doesn't stop them. Nothing much does. They just go through. There is a practice called natural horsemanship that developed in the latter half of the 20th century, though its roots are older. It is based on the idea that training horses should work with their natural communication systems rather than against them. Understanding how horses signal dominance and deference within a herd. Understanding what pressure and release mean to a horse. Understanding that a horse's flight response cannot simply be overridden by force, but that it can be redirected through consistent, calm, and clear communication. The trainers associated with this movement, people like Tom and Bill Dorrance, Ray Hunt, and others who came after, were working largely in the American West. They developed approaches to starting young horses that emphasized time and patience over physical force. The goal was a horse that was willing rather than merely compliant. A horse that chose to work with you because it had been given the chance to make that choice. Watching someone skilled in this approach work with a young or troubled horse is a study in patience. The trainer may spend an hour simply moving the horse around a round pen, reading its body language, watching for the moment when the horse begins to turn in rather than away. A flicker of the inside ear toward the person, a lowering of the head, a chewing motion that signals a certain kind of mental release. When the trainer sees these signals, they stop applying pressure. They go still, and they wait to see what the horse will do. Sometimes the horse walks toward them, slowly, stopping and starting, testing, and eventually arriving close enough to be touched. That moment, when a horse that was afraid comes toward you of its own choosing, is described by people who have experienced it as one of the most moving things they have witnessed. Not because it is dramatic, but because it is so completely voluntary. The horse could have stayed away. It chose not to. Some horses are simply strange, in the best way. There are horses with strong preferences. Horses that love music and relax visibly when certain kinds of music are played in the stable. Classical music has been studied in this context. Slow, harmonically simple music tends to lower heart rate and reduce stress behaviors in horses. Fast, rhythmically complex music does the opposite. Some stables play music during the day as a matter of course. There are horses that form unexpected bonds with other species. A goat placed in a stable as a companion for a high-strung racehorse is a well-known practice. The horse settles. The goat becomes a fixture. The relationship between a creature built for speed and one built for scrubland becomes genuine and specific and hard to explain. There are horses that form attachments to dogs, to barn cats, to the chickens that wander freely through their paddock. Horses are social animals. They were not designed to be alone. Given a choice, they will find company wherever it is available and make the best of it. There are horses that are playful in ways that are unmistakably intentional. Foals play with abandon, running and bucking and spinning for what appears to be pure joy. Adult horses play too, though more selectively. Mutual grooming that shifts into play biting, chasing in the field. A horse that has learned to toss its feed bucket and then look at the human standing nearby with what can only be described as expectation. There is humor in horses, not in the human sense, but in the sense of enjoyment of something unexpected, of doing something for the response it produces, of finding the same game worth playing again and again simply because it is satisfying to play. The connection between horses and human health has been formalized in recent decades into what is called equine-assisted therapy. The basic observation was not new. People had been noticing for centuries that time near horses changed something in them. That children who were struggling in other areas of life seemed to come alive around horses. That adults dealing with anxiety or depression found something in the stable that they were not finding elsewhere. The research has taken some time to catch up with the observation, but what has emerged is interesting. Spending time with horses, even just grooming them or being near them, has been shown to lower cortisol levels. Cortisol is the hormone most associated with stress. Lower cortisol means the body is out of a stress response. The nervous system has shifted from alert to ease. Heart rate variability, which is a measure of nervous system regulation, improves when people spend time with horses. There is research suggesting that the heart rhythms of horses and humans can actually synchronize when they are in close contact. The large, slow heartbeat of the horse somehow pulling the smaller, faster human heartbeat toward its own rhythm. Whether this is exactly what is happening or not, the felt experience is consistent. People report feeling calmer near horses, more present, more in their body and less in their head. Something about the animal's presence asks you to be where you are rather than somewhere else. Horses do not accept substitutes. If you are not truly paying attention, they know. Working with them requires a quality of attention that is, in itself, a kind of mindfulness. You cannot ruminate about last week or worry about tomorrow while managing a 1,000-pound animal in a paddock. It asks too much of the present moment. And that demand, that insistence on now, is something that a great many people find genuinely therapeutic. The horse in mythology was often a messenger between worlds. In Greek tradition, the winged horse Pegasus carried the thunderbolts of Zeus. The hero Bellerophon tamed it with a golden bridle given by the goddess Athena. They traveled together to slay the chimera and accomplish deeds that neither could have managed alone. In Norse mythology, as mentioned, Odin's 8-legged horse, Sleipnir, moved between the 9 realms of existence. The extra legs were not merely decoration. They were the reason the horse could go where others could not. Ordinary horses had 4 legs and could only go ordinary places. Sleipnir had 8 and could go anywhere. The horse of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse in Christian tradition are among the most famous symbolic animals in Western literature. Each horse a different color, each one carrying a different force into the world. White for conquest or righteousness depending on interpretation, red for war, black for famine, pale for death. The horse as the vehicle of the world's most consequential events. In many shamanic traditions, the horse was the animal through which the shaman traveled to other realms. The drum used in shamanic ritual was often described as the shaman's horse. Its rhythm carrying the practitioner into the trance state from which they could journey to places beyond the ordinary world. The horse, again, as the means of crossing, of going between, of carrying someone somewhere they could not go on their own. Even in metaphor, the horse carries us. It always has. The color of horses is one of those topics that seems simple and turns out to be wonderfully complicated. The basic coat colors include bay, which is a brown body with black mane and tail and black on the lower legs. Chestnut, which is a reddish-brown body with a mane and tail of the same or similar color. Black, which sounds straightforward but is actually rarer than it appears, since many horses that look black are actually very dark bay or dark brown. Gray, which in horses is not a base color but a process. A gray horse is born dark and lightens progressively with age, most eventually turning almost white. A white horse, technically, is one born white, which is actually quite rare. Then there are the patterns. Dun, a sandy or golden color with a distinctive dark stripe running down the back called a dorsal stripe. a marking thought to be a retention of the primitive coloring of the horse's early ancestors. Palomino, golden body with white or cream mane and tail. Pinto, large patches of white and another color. Appaloosa, spotted patterns that were prized by the Nez Perce people of the American Northwest and became associated with their culture and their horses. Each color and pattern is controlled by specific genes, and the genetics of horse color are genuinely complex. The same pair of genes can produce different visible results depending on what other genes are present. Colors that look alike can be produced by entirely different genetic pathways. And occasionally, a combination comes out that surprises everyone. People who work with horses often develop strong preferences. A person who has always kept bay horses and swears by them. Someone who has only ever owned chestnuts and will tell you with complete conviction that chestnuts have a particular temperament. Whether coat color and personality are genuinely linked is debated. The stories people tell about it, though, are unfailingly enthusiastic. Horses have a relationship with water that is its own small world. Some love it. Will wade into a pond without invitation and stand there, apparently enjoying the coolness on their legs. Will splash in shallow crossings with something that looks very much like pleasure. Will lower their nose to the surface and blow bubbles, which is either investigation or play or both. Some are cautious. Will stop at the edge of a stream and look at it, consider it, test it with one foot, consider some more, eventually cross if pushed, but without enthusiasm. The horse knows that it cannot see the bottom clearly through the reflection, and a horse that cannot see the bottom is a horse that does not know what is down there. And a horse that does not know what is down there is cautious, for good reason, or for ancient reason, which amounts to the same thing. There is a long tradition of swimming horses across water when bridges were unavailable. Horses can swim. They do it naturally, though they require some confidence to enter deep enough water for it. A horse swimming is a strange and remarkable sight. The body moving through water with those long legs paddling, the neck extended, the head held high. They are buoyant. They float fairly easily. And they make it to the other side, which is all that was ever required. The relationship between a horse and open space is something you can see in the way they move when they are turned out into a large field after time in a stable. At first, often, they simply run. Not toward anything. Not away from anything. Just the running itself. Across the field and back. A buck or two. A spin. The body expressing something that had been compressed by the confines of the stable and is now releasing into the available space. It does not last long. A few minutes, usually, and then the horse settles, puts its head down, begins to graze, as if the run never happened, as if it was just the body clearing something out before getting on with the real business of the day. But those few minutes, the full extension of a horse at liberty, running because it wants to, because the field is there, because the legs want to go and nothing is stopping them. This is what horses are, at their core, beneath the centuries of training and selection and relationship with humans. Animals made for movement. Animals that need space the way we need air. Animals that are most themselves when there is somewhere to go. And the choice to go there is entirely their own. People who love horses often struggle to explain it to people who do not. It is not the speed, though speed is part of it. It is not the beauty, though the beauty is undeniable. It is not even the relationship, though the relationship is deep. It is something harder to name. A quality of presence that the horse has, the way it is entirely in its body in every moment, the way it does not pretend, the way it does not perform anything it does not mean, the way it asks you, by its very nature, to be real in return. Horses do not care about your job or your status or what kind of day you have had in the world of human things. They care about what you are communicating right now, how you are standing, how you are breathing, what your hands are doing, whether you mean what you seem to mean. That directness is, for many people, a relief. To be somewhere where none of the complicated social furniture of human life matters, where what counts is simply being present, calm and honest, where the animal in front of you will tell you immediately whether you are managing those things or not. It is a kind of simplicity that is actually very hard to find in the rest of life. And horses offer it freely to anyone who comes looking. The tack room of a stable has its own particular smell and feeling. Leather and oil and the particular smell of horse sweat that clings to everything that touches horses regularly. Saddles on their stands, bridles hanging from hooks, the metal bits clean and faintly gleaming, brushes arranged in their order, a half-empty tin of saddle soap, leather straps for things so specific that only a horse person would know their name. There is a specific meditative quality to cleaning tack. Saddle soap applied in circles to the leather warming under the friction. The conditioner worked in with a cloth until the leather darkens slightly and softens. The metal pieces cleaned to remove tarnish and green. Everything hung back in its place, ready for next time. This kind of maintenance is endless. Not unpleasant, just continuous. The work of keeping things in good order so they can be used, so the horse is comfortable, so nothing breaks at the wrong moment. It is the kind of work that does not finish, but that keeps things going. People who do it describe doing it in a kind of pleasant autopilot. The hands busy with the familiar task, the mind free to drift, or to settle, whichever it needs to do. The stable in the evening, after the horses have been fed and settled, is one of those places that has a quality that is hard to reproduce anywhere else. The soft sounds of horses eating, occasional shifting of feet on straw, a horse sighing, the last of the daylight going outside. Inside, warm and dim, everything in its place, everyone where they should be. The day done. A foal learning to run is one of the more joyful things to watch on this earth. Within the first week of life, the foal begins to experiment with what its legs are capable of. Short bursts of speed that end in stumbling, the legs not yet quite coordinated with the ambition of the body. Then a little more control, a few strides strung together cleanly. The discovery that running feels different from walking, that there is something in speed that the body recognizes as right. The mare watches from nearby, not anxious, not intervening, just present, allowing the foal to explore what it is, what it can do, how far its legs will carry it before they bring it back. The foal will race to the edge of what feels safe, then loop back. Again and again, the same loop, the mare at the center of it. Safety as a fixed point around which exploration becomes possible. By the time a foal is a month old, it can run with real speed. By 3 months, its proportions are beginning to shift from the leggy, oversized head look of the newborn towards something that suggests the horse it will become. The coat fills in, the muscles begin to show, the personality, already present from the first hours, becomes clearer. Each foal is different. Bold ones, shy ones, the ones that approach every new thing with ears forward and nose extended, the ones that approach from behind their mother and take a long time before curiosity outweighs caution. None of these tendencies are better than others. They are just who the horse is. Already, almost from the beginning. There are horses in this world that have never been touched by a human hand, living in the wild places, moving with their herds across terrain that we rarely see. And there are horses that have been touched by thousands of hands, trained with patience, shown in rings, ridden by children learning and adults competing, and older riders who have done this their whole lives and still find something new in it. And somewhere in between those two, there is every horse, each one carrying its particular history, its particular personality, its particular way of moving through the world it was given. They do not ask to be understood. They simply exist, fully, without apology, in their bodies and in their landscapes and in their relationships with each other and with us. They have been doing this for 55 million years, long before we were here, long before anyone was counting, long before language named them, or mythology celebrated them, or art preserved them. They were already here, already moving, already part of this earth's long story, already exactly what they are. And they are still here, now, in the dark, in the fields, in the stables and the open plains and the mountain valleys and the grasslands, stretching away to where the sky comes down to meet the earth. Still breathing, still moving, still keeping watch over each other in the dark, still being exactly what they have always been. Let that image stay with you now as your own breathing slows. The field at the edge of dark, the horses scattered through it, some standing, some moving slowly, some already lying down in the soft grass. The sky wide and dark above them, the stars beginning to appear one by one at the edges where the light of evening is finally giving way. Everything is slow. Everything is patient. The world is not rushing anywhere. The horses are not rushing anywhere. The night is settling around all of it, like something heavy and soft and warm. Your own body is settling now in the same way. The heaviness behind the eyes, the loosening of the muscles in the shoulders, in the jaw, the breath coming and going without you having to think about it. The thoughts that were here a few moments ago moving now like clouds on a slow wind. Present and then gone. Present and then gone. The horse in the field lowers its head to the grass, takes one slow mouthful, chews, is completely there. Completely in that moment. Not anywhere else. You can be there too. Right here, in this moment, nowhere else to be, nothing else to carry. Just this, the quiet, the dark, the slow and steady breath. Horses have taught people things that could not have been learned any other way. Patience. Real patience. Not the performance of patience, not gritting your teeth and waiting, but actual patience. The kind where you genuinely accept that the thing you want cannot be rushed, and you stop wanting to rush it. Horses have taught people to read without words, to understand communication that does not use language, to pay attention to posture and breath and the angle of a head and the set of an ear, to realize how much is being said at every moment by every living thing, if you are quiet enough to receive it. Horses have taught people that trust is built in small increments and broken in an instant. That consistency is everything. That what you do when it is hard matters more than what you do when it is easy. That an animal's willingness is a gift, not an entitlement. That it can be taken away. That it is worth earning carefully, and worth keeping even more carefully once it is there. Horses have taught people humility. To stand next to an animal that is larger and stronger and faster and in many ways more perceptive than you are, and to realize that its cooperation is not inevitable, that it chooses you or it does not, and that the only influence you have over that choice is who you decide to be when you are with it. These are not small lessons. They are among the best ones. And horses have been offering them quietly and without making any particular deal of it for thousands of years. As sleep comes closer, let your thoughts slow down. Imagine a field at the edge of morning, not quite light yet. That grey and formless hour before the sky begins to shift. The grass holds dew. The air is cool and still. There is a horse at the far edge of the field, standing, one hip dropped, the leg beneath it resting easy. The head is low. The tail hangs without movement. The great eyes are half closed. The horse is not doing anything. It is not going anywhere. It is not waiting for anything to happen. It is just there, present, in the field, in the grey light, in the cool, quiet morning. The sound, if there is one, is the very occasional exhale. A long, slow breath through wide nostrils. Released into the morning air. Gone. Everything else is still. Let that stillness come toward you now. The same stillness of the field. The same quiet of the morning before anything has been asked of it. Let your own breathing slow. Longer. Slower. The way the horse breathes when it is safe. You are safe. Everything is still. There is nothing that needs to happen right now. Just the field, and the grey light, and the horse, standing easy in the quiet, and you, drifting somewhere softer, slower, further away from everything that takes effort. The sleep of a horse is a generous thing. It is given freely when trust is there. When the herd is close, when the night holds no threat, when the ground is soft enough. A horse lying flat in the grass is a horse that has made a decision that says, I am safe here. I can let go. I can be fully at rest. It is such a simple decision, and so hard to make, sometimes even for us. But here, now, in this quiet, you have made that decision, or the quiet has made it for you. Either way, the result is the same. The body is easy. The mind is moving away from the day. The breathing has settled. The field is grey and soft and wide. The horse is standing at the far edge of it, watching nothing, needing nothing, just breathing. Horses have carried us so far, across plains and mountains, through deserts and snowfields, into war and out of it, through fields that needed turning and distances that needed crossing and centuries that needed surviving. They have asked very little in return. Food, water, safety, kindness, when it was available. They have given us far more than they received, and they have done it without knowing the scale of it. They do not know they built empires. They do not know they carried explorers to places no one had ever been. They do not know that their image is painted on cave walls 30,000 years old, or that their name is woven into the languages of nearly every culture on Earth, or that there are people alive right now whose relationship with a specific horse has been one of the defining experiences of their life. They do not need to know. They are simply here, the way they have always been here, warm and large and present and impossibly alive in the way all animals are impossibly alive when you stop long enough to really look. The last thought tonight is this. Somewhere right now, a horse is lying down in the dark, fully asleep, legs stretched out, chest rising and falling with the deep, slow breathing of a creature given over completely to rest. Its companion stands nearby, watching over the night, not afraid, not restless, just present in the way horses are present, aware, quiet, keeping watch so the other can let go. There is a kindness in that, an old kindness, the kindness of being near someone you trust in the dark, of knowing that, while you sleep, something gentle is keeping watch. You can let go now too. The night is quiet. The field is wide. The grass is cool. The stars are doing what they do. And somewhere, a horse breathes slowly in the dark, and another stands close, and the whole soft night turns gently around them. You do not need to do anything now. Just breathe. Just rest. Just let the quiet carry you. Good night.